So I was listening, well, to part of this on YouTube. It's from 6 years ago. We, the corporations, the constitutional rights of businesses. So, for those that don't know, I think most people realize now, the corporations are considered a personhood. I think much of this is why so many things have gone wrong. Most corporations, I'm sure, maybe not all, but at least at least your big corporations, and especially our institutions, whether it's education, health, doesn't matter, all the same. They lack a moral compass. And as time goes on, especially as they have all merged into one, that's what the World Economic Forum is all about, is merging into one big corporation under, 3 major investment companies. Or, whatever, the BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, and which, enables them to have even more power. None of these things did our Constitution envision. Did not. And so when I get upset with the nursing people at the top, when I get upset with the medical profession people at the top, all the people controlling everything, even to the Catholic Church itself, it's the hierarchy that's the problem. It is the people that are running things, okay? And the corporations will make every excuse in the world, because if you want to look at it from just the constitutional angle, what our founders envisioned, and not that they didn't envision wanting people to have economic success, but there is a reason that our founders mentioned that our Constitution was not for everyone. It was not meant for everyone. It was meant for a people that came from faith. That was what the root of. Corporations don't come from that angle, which is why they lack a moral compass. Okay, and I have lost my patience over the years with this, because I literally get treated like a slave, okay? And then yet upper management and all the way up just thinks that it's okay because they're told to do this. And because they're told to do this, they go along with it again for the paycheck. So we've become a country that has enslaved ourselves. And the corporations have done it because the Supreme Court deems them as a personhood. So I do not think that our founders ever envisioned that the Supreme Court would see the corporations as a personhood. And the fact is here's another problem. The Supreme Court has ruled that the Constitution, no private organization has to respect the Constitution. So the corporations get their personhood under our Constitution, while at the same time they're not obligated to abide by it. It's true, they're not. The only people that have to abide by the Constitution is the government themselves. So do you see how this goes wrong? Because this is how you get so many of your most wealthiest people, your biggest organizations, your biggest religions that are controlling everything, and then it becomes something that was never envisioned for this country. And so I've lost patience with this stuff. I don't care what excuses people want to make. I really don't. If you want to make excuses for your church, if you want to make excuses for the nursing profession or the medical profession or any of these corporations, then you're part of the problem too. And most of it that people would say, well, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a sickening system to live under. I often think, especially where I work right now, because the jagoff that runs the healthcare system, and it's one that's across the United States, and he in my opinion, should have been in jail a long time ago, just because he's had deaths in his facilities, not where I'm at, but I know the history. But there's no accountability for the wealthy, and because of their moral bankruptcy, and then making sure to install leadership that's morally bankrupt as well, especially in healthcare, it's the worst thing you can do, then what you have is just disgust. Absolute disgust. And yet the corporations, so they use our Constitution to get the liberties of our Constitution, but then at the same time the Supreme Court ruled in a different ruling that no private company, no private entity has to honor the Constitution. So that's how you get away from your values. That's why we have all these socialists in America. And where are the socialists? They're heading up the corporations. They're heading up the nursing association. They're trying to bring in universal health care. They head up the education system, all morally misguided, and I would say many just morally bankrupt, period, people. It's not like any of these people ever listened to the little people, but this country was not founded for this role. And so it's really hard because you can't make people respect the Constitution. So then how do you keep the values in place? It takes making sure that each and every single person that is an elected official, or each and every person on the Supreme Court or any court, is not allowing people to come into the courtroom and shred and tear apart the fibers of the Constitution, all so they can win more power for corporations. That'll be the problem till the end of time. But look at where it's led to. It's led to all of the wealthiest people at the World Economic Forum that, in my opinion, none of them that talk there. And people would say I'm extreme in saying that. I don't care. I don't care. When you can live it from my end, then you can tell me I'm being extreme, okay? None of these people live it from my end. Yet I'm the person that loves the country and sees the Constitution very different than the corporations do. The corporations have been a disgrace to what our founders envisioned and wanted for this country. So, and you can listen to this and they make some sense, but really not. Because it depends on how you want to look at the Constitution. I just see nothing but a greed problem in America, and I think everybody's seen that for a long time. Greed, greed, greed. To hell with having a moral compass. Greed, greed, greed. And then everybody falls into that, even the poor. We all fall into that trap, and it's just like, this is what we do, even though if we really sat back and thought about it, does it seem like it's right? No, but nobody wants to do that, because this is what we do. They know best. They don't. So what this says here is, first of all, I have a dictionary from 1929, and corporation is a body politic having a common seal and legally authorized to act as one individual. So basically, this is also caused why nobody fights. People like me, it's not worth fighting back. They'll bury you because they're so much powerful than you. I mean, the way our Constitution was so that it served the people less that had the least, and who our Constitution has served while they disgrace our Constitution for everybody else is the corporation. It's sad. It's really sad. But in 1757, Blackstone's influential commentaries on the laws of England, one of the most influential law books ever written, describes corporations as artificial persons. That was 300 years ago, and a corporate law has since that time always treated corporations as being people. So, and there's different rulings to there's different, but it's just, what I'm really trying to say, it doesn't even matter what this stuff says, is that who our Constitution has served and who it wasn't supposed to serve in the way that it served them is the corporations, is the most wealthiest. And you could say, well, we just made better decisions. No, you stepped on a lot of people. You used our Constitution so that you could become more economically free, and that's fine. But you disregarded truly what the values of our Constitution is, and all of you CEOs in this country, I mean, maybe there's some of you that are decent, I'm sure there is, but you have disgraced what our founding was all about.